Alright guys, Saturday, November the 14th, and just coming up to about 12 noon. That's what it looks like in the neighborhood today. Looks like fall, looks like winter's coming. About plus 10 degrees Celsius today, it's about 50 degrees Fahrenheit. And today we're going to be shuffling a few things around. It's officially storage day for the bike today, or at least temporary storage day for the bike. It's supposed to be dropping down in temperatures now for the next 14 days or so, so I think the bike's going to go away. I think we're just going to temporarily shelter that in the trailer, which means I need to get the chassis out of the trailer and back into the garage. That's something I need to do anyway to continue on with the TR250 project, so I think that's what we're going to do this afternoon. And in order to do that, it's going to take a little bit of juggling. So we'll go ahead and get that started. It'll probably take me an hour or two to get things organized. And then we'll come back, hopefully, and the chassis will be back in the garage. Right, so there she is. Now, what I'm going to try to do is gracefully turn it around so I can get the front in the garage first. So we'll have to get it off the trailer and do a little spinorama, probably with some help with some jacks, and that'll be fun. Solo today, so probably won't be that easy to move this chassis around, but we'll make do. Alright guys, part one is done. The chassis is back in the garage and oriented the right way. We're just going to move it to the right a little bit, and we'll get it up on jack stands, and then we'll get ready to resume work on it. Alright guys, the next step is complete. We've got the car back up in the air, and I'm just having a quick inspection, and it's shocking how quickly things start to rust. So there is my freshly rebuilt engine. So obviously I've got some surface rust on here. Won't take much to get it off. We're just going to do a little WD-40 and a Scotch-Brite, but I just thought I'd give you a quick look at that, how quickly things can rust. There's my machine flywheel down there. You can see the rust starting to form on that as well. So that's only from being in the trailer for a couple of months. Mind you, it's a little less of an issue as winter kicks in here, because the humidity pretty much drops to zero, so don't have to worry about it rusting as much over the winter time. But anyway, I just thought I'd give you a quick shot of that. So I've got a little bit of work to do here before we start putting the head back on, and obviously the head gasket needs to go on there. So what I'll do is just grab a Scotch-Brite and some WD-40 and get that cleaned up. That'll be the next step. Alright guys, we've got our pan head gasket ready to go on. I've cleaned up that surface rust the best as possible. We're just trying to determine which side of this gasket goes down. It is not marked that I can see. Anyway, I just consulted with my buddy Kevin, who's also restoring a TR250, and this is the way it should go down, the metal parts facing down, we believe. So that's what's going to happen. I did oil the cylinders up a little bit, just to add a little extra oil in there before you put the head on. So we are going to get the ARP studs out. I'm going to do a little bit of copper anti-seize on the bottom of the studs where they fit into the block, and then we'll go from there. Alright, the ARP studs are in now. They're just tightened down as far as I can by hand. They all threaded in nicely. I had previously chased all the threads in the block, so all was good there. Again, just a little bit of copper anti-seize and we're good to go there. So head gasket is going to go on next, and followed by the head. Tappets already in the block. Tappets, lifters, followers, whatever you want to call them. They're already in the block. They already are assembly lubed, so we're good to go there. We don't want to forget those. So, gasket, and then we'll come back, take one more picture, and then we'll throw the head on. There is the pan gasket installed. It's looking good. So next step is to unwrap the head and finally get it on top of the block. So we'll do that now. Then we'll come back for next steps. Alright, don't know how good of an angle this is going to be for you guys, but I don't have my tripod out here, so I'm not going inside to get it. Alright, so alright, that went on okay, no pinch fingers, lovely, lovely. Been waiting a while to see that on the car, haven't we all? Okay, so next step is to put the fasteners, the hardened washers and the nuts on. Those get a little bit of ARP assembly lube when you do that, which is included in the package. So that gets some assembly lube. The nuts get torqued according to the shop manual. 3 different steps up to 80 foot-pounds. So we'll take a little bit of a break and we'll come back and do that together in a little bit. All right, we're going to start the process. So we're going to start by putting some of the fastener assembly lubricant on the threads of the studs. We're also going to put some on the nuts and some of the washers as well, according to the directions from ARP. We're then going to hand tighten those down. And then, as I mentioned, we're going to progressively tighten them over 3 stages up to 80 foot-pounds. We have the diagram out here from the Bentley manual. Got our old cylinder head as an excellent page holder. So here is the diagram, and we'll follow that closely when we go to torque these down. Again, as I mentioned, we'll do it in 3 steps up to 80 foot-pounds. So we'll go ahead and start that process. All right, nuts are on hand tight, and we're just getting ready to torque these down. So we'll go 30, 60, 80 on the torque. It's a 1/2 inch 12-point socket on this, and we'll grab our torque wrench and we'll go to town. Right, I'm happy to say that the head is finally on the car and torqued down, no issues, up to 80 foot-pounds. Next steps is to install the push rods and the rocker gear, which I have just sitting over here. I think we'll put the spark plugs in just to fill a few more holes, and then we'll start putting other stuff on, like the water pump at the front of the car, and we'll move on from there. Anyway, I'm going to take a bit of a break, and we'll come out in a little bit. Hey, good morning, guys. Tush coming back at you. It's now Sunday morning around 10 a.m., and we're picking up where we left off last night. I had just put the spark plugs in the holes last night, and I just put them in finger tight. I didn't gap them, so we'll have to pull them back out again at a later date before we start this engine up. So we'll re-gap them at that time. I did go through my rocker shafts. I have 3 different rocker shafts to pick from. Did a quick visual inspection and a quick physical inspection of them, and this is the best of the 3 that I have. Sort of a timely video came up this morning from a channel on YouTube called Triumph Restoration. Here is the channel title here. Now I'll put a link to this video. He goes pretty much into very good detail about evaluating your rocker gear, or rocker assembly. He basically pulled his completely apart. Did a lot of measurements on the shaft and on the actual rockers themselves to see if they needed to be bushed or not. Length of springs, etc., etc. So I did a very good video on that, and I'll put a link up in the corner or down the bottom of the description so you can watch that. I didn't go into that much detail. Like I said, I just did a quick physical and a visual check on mine, and we're going to go with this one that seems to be the best of the 3. All right, on to the next steps. So we just have this rocker shaft assembly just sitting on top of the head here. So next steps are obviously to add the studs. We got to grab our push rods as well. We're not going to probably do the valve adjustment today, but we'll get as far as installing this, getting this torqued down properly, and getting our push rods installed. So those are the next steps. All right, guys, just pulled out my original rocker pedestal studs. So I'm just going to clean these up with a bit of brake cleaner. Just one quick note, there is a long and short threaded end. The short threaded end goes into the head. Just taking the extra time and effort to clean up these threads on these pedestal studs. So just thought I'd make note of that. And got a couple in already and a few more to go. All right, guys, studs have been installed in the head, so now we're getting our push rods out. So these are the original push rods to the car, to the other head. They're a shortened set, and I believe they'll work for my new head, so we're going to try them anyway. So I've got them all labeled here, probably unnecessarily since I've got new tappets anyway, or new followers or new lifters, whatever you want to call them, but I'm going to put them back in according to how I have them numbered anyway, 1 through 12. So anyway, here we go. All right, guys, we have the rocker shaft loosely fitted. We've got the adjusters backed all the way out, as you can probably see. So we're going to get the torque values on this, and we're going to torque them according to the manual. I'm not sure if there's a pattern on these. There probably should be. Anyway, we'll look it up in the manual and we'll come back. All right, there is no order of torque as far as the rocker assembly is concerned, as far as tightening sequence. All it says is to torque to 26 to 34 foot-pounds. So we're going to do a 2-sequence torque on this. We'll go to 20 pounds first, and then we'll bump it up probably to 32 pounds. And we will do a bit of our own custom sequence just to make sure everything is good. All right, guys, that is torqued down now. Just need to adjust the valves at a later date, so we'll make sure we do that before startup. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to install the rocker cover studs. So the valve cover studs, I've got new studs for that. So we'll steal the nuts off of here, put them on here, and we'll get those installed. All right, guys, we're going to go ahead and set the valve lash. Well, it's easy to do. I've actually removed the rad just to be able to get a big breaker bar on the pulley at the front here. Obviously I had to remove the fan to do that as well. The engine's pretty tight. I do have the spark plugs back out, but obviously being a newly rebuilt engine, it's a little difficult to turn over just by grabbing the fan, and obviously I can't roll the car, and there's no other ancillaries on there like some guys will grab the fan belt to help pull it along with the fan, but that's not on there either. So I figured the easiest course of action for me was to just remove the fan and the rad in order to get that ratchet on there. So we're going to go ahead and do the rule of 13. We're going to follow the Bentley manual over here. And so we've got the crankshaft turned until 10 and 12 valves are open, so the springs are fully compressed. And then we are going to adjust valve number 1 and 3. We're going to set this to 0.010 as a clearance on the valves. So we'll get the feeler gauges out and go to town. Well, that's always interesting. We've got a major windstorm here, so we've just lost power. So no power in the garage, no lights, but look at those trees out there. I don't know if you can see them blowing around. She's windy. All right, we'll wait for the power to come back on. Can't do much in the dark. I guess we can grab a flashlight, do it by, or candlelight would be romantic. Well, this will be a little bit of a memorable experience, setting valves in the dark. Good thing my flashlights are charged up. Okay, valves are set. I went through the procedure twice just to make sure. So we're good to go there. Probably going to wait for the lights to come back on before I start putting stuff back together. So we'll take a bit of a break and we'll come back when we can see. All right, guys, lights are back on about an hour and a half later. So we're back in business. So valves are done. I just put a new belt on. So we did that while we have a little bit of extra clearance with the radiator out. I was able to get that in between the steering rack and the crank pulley. That can be a little bit difficult as far as space is concerned, but the engine mounts are new, so that helps out a little bit. So that's done. So I think what we'll do is we'll put the radiator back on, and then we will move forward. I think the next thing I want to do is probably install the starter, my high torque starter. So we'll dig that out, and we'll get that installed. Like I said, after we get the fan back on and the rad back installed, we'll get back to where we were, and we'll install that starter. All right, we just unpacked another little piece of jewelry for the car. So we got a new valve cover here. We've got our silicone gasket over here. We're just going to get a little bit of RTV. We're going to affix that to the bottom of the valve cover. And I got the cap here somewhere and the nuts. So we'll get the gasket silicone down, and then we'll get this on the car, and we'll tighten it up just a little bit, so that'll help that silicone cure in place overnight. All right, guys, I think I'm going to be happy with that cover. Looks good, fits good. We just got the gasket on there, setting up nicely. Need a little bit of a paint touch up here, just a little bit of a little scuff there that I got to take care of, but other than that, I think it looks pretty good. Going for that little bit more understated look under the hood, although those triple Webers are going to look pretty good beside that. So that looks good. So let's move on to fitting the starter as mentioned previously. So let me dig that out. All right, guys, dug out the new high torque starter. So there she is. Again, another product from British Parts Northwest. There is the part number, I believe, GRSCK. Anyway, I've got the hardware ready to go, standing by. So we'll fit this up, and we'll bring you back. I'm thinking of actually JB welding the top nut on the rear of the transmission case, because they can be a bit of a bear to do if you have to ever replace these to get that nut back on. So Let me take a look. I'm going to clean up the area anyway and scratch it down with a little bit of sandpaper. And then I'll see if I can find some JB Weld and maybe we'll do that modification. Alright guys, high torque starter is now installed. I did JB Weld that nut on the back, so we'll see if it holds. I'm just letting it set up. I've pulled the bolt out to make sure I didn't JB Weld the bolt into the nut. So anyway, we'll see if that does the job. If not, we may have to attack it again, but we'll see if that works. So next steps, water pump probably is the best thing to do. I may go and grab that inside. I may also throw I've got a new exhaust header that I'm just dying to put on there, so may actually go get the exhaust header and just stick that on the car just to get it out of the hallway upstairs as well. It's been up there for a couple months now in the way. I walk by it every day. Anyway, so maybe we'll do that. We'll give this a little bit of a break. Probably go inside for about 15 minutes, let the JB Weld set up. Then we'll probably put that top bolt back in. And like I said, we'll grab the water pump and probably the exhaust header. Alright guys, another product of one of my power hours from long ago. Have the water pump housing and the water pump here. We've got the hardware here ready to go, so we're just going to attach the water pump to the housing. That gets nuts and lock washers, and then we'll attach it to the car with the bolts and lock washers. About 8 p.m. Just came outside to see what was happening, so I don't know if you can hear over there, but you can hear a wood chipper. So we actually had a few trees come down in the neighborhood when we had that windstorm, one over there, and one in the back of my neighbor's yard. So they've got the chipper out there disposing of the fallen tree. Okay, water pump and water pump housing are on successfully, so that looks good. Thermostat housing is on, just sitting there. I've got a gasket underneath and the new thermostat in there. I just need to find the two bolts for that, so we'll find those tomorrow. I did dig the header out of the hallway upstairs, but left it inside. It's getting a little bit late out here in the garage tonight, and I've got a work day tomorrow. So I think we're going to call it a night, and we'll get back out here. We have something to look forward to tomorrow, and we'll install that header and move on from there. That'll be the first thing we do probably tomorrow. Alright guys, thanks for watching. Have a good night.